try to show you guys exactly what the purpose of that last switch on the right is. And that is to keep the torque converter clutch from disengaging when I hit the brakes. Alright, so let's say I'm slowing down to a stop. We're gonna have deceleration fuel cutoff kick in now. Now I'm gonna hit the brakes. RPM drops pretty significantly. Now I'm back on the gas again. Okay, now I turn this switch on because I'm coming up to a stop sign. Now, deceleration activates again. Now when I hit the brakes, the RPM does not drop. Except, well, I guess it does drop with my speed, but the clutch does not disengage. That is the purpose of that switch. And I'll show you another look here. I don't know. Okay, it should be visible. The MPG, when I am in deceleration mode, usually pegs at 99 because there is very little fuel going into the engine. But when you're decelerating without the cutoff, this thing won't reach 99. So yeah, it's pretty significant of a change putting that switch in. And while it may seem insignificant in the immediate, it makes a difference in the long run in how much you'll save. I mean, I don't understand why it is set up so that the torque converter disengages when you hit the brakes. Okay, he's turning. Get out of my way. Anyway, I don't know why it is set up that way to disengage the torque converter when you hit the brakes. It seems like it'd be a lot better if it didn't ever disengage, except when you come up to a light or something. I mean, when you think of semis, you think about it, and semis, well, even the automated transmission ones, they have clutches. They don't have torque converters, and they stay engaged when you're decelerating. So why is it that passenger vehicles are not set up that way? It doesn't make any sense in my mind. But anyway, I am about to show you. I don't know why there's something stuck on my lens. There's always something stuck on my lens. Anyway, I'm about to enter deceleration fuel cutoff mode again, and I'll show you what this does. Off the gas. It's going up, it's going up. Now we're in cutoff mode. 99. Now I hit the brakes, so it disengages the torque converter. Oh wait, we're still in cutoff mode. Okay, well, that's not a good indicator, but now I got to be slowed down by a Nissan! Nissans are the worst vehicles ever. They never know how to freaking go. I mean, it's just inevitable. I get stuck behind a Nissan, I can never get to the speed limit. I mean, I see this one's loaded down, but you know what? I'll f them all anyway. And I'm about to get on the freeway, so I'm not going to be able to show off the cutoff again, probably for the rest of today, so that's all for now. So yeah, tearing it down again. Had a bit of an issue with this little guy over here. This little hose that goes between the water pump and the intake manifold, just under the thermostat housing. If I can get a better view of this. Yeah, right there. You can see where that hose is supposed to go. It started leaking on me while I was on my way home from work one night. Leaked out the entire contents of my overflow container and a little bit from the radiator. Now thankfully, it did not leak out enough to overheat. There was still plenty in the radiator and the engine to keep everything circulating. But if I'd have kept driving this thing back and forth to work, there definitely would not have been. And this thing would have blown up again. But yeah, I don't know if I will be able to see very well what's going on in here, but you can kind of see where the lip has eaten away at the hose. I just totally farted, and that was good. Yeah, you can see in there a little bit, the inside of the hose has been eaten away. And yeah, it just kind of punched a hole right through the hose itself where the hose clamps were. I put an extra one on there to see if maybe I could keep it from leaking anymore, but didn't help at all. So I ordered new ones because that's what I do and that's the way it goes. But having to take all this freaking crap out just to get to that one stinking little hose, I mean, give me a break. To turn a freaking 20-minute hose replacement job into like an hour and a half. And this video adding to it doesn't really help matters, I guess. Yeah. Well, one thing I can say is the air conditioning system is working out quite well despite my screwing it up. Yeah, it's staying cool. I mean, I'm still not expecting it to really last, but I hardly use it anyway, so yeah. Why did I even install it? Right. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this hose back on, and should fix my leak issue for now, until one of these other hoses decides to start eating through the housing and screwing everything up again, and yeah. Alright. Had to pull the alternator, had to pull my electric fans. I'm not sure I ever showed this separate from the truck. Maybe I did. Yeah, it's just kind of mounted to the fan shroud itself. Kind of, not really. And look who's here, Mr. Dirty Head, who's going to rub all his dirt off on my legs because that's what he does and that's the way he does it. My lens is still dirty. Freaking hasn't been right since the air conditioning compressor exploded in its face. Yeah, so that's mounted to that, and I just dropped the whole thing in. It's pretty simple, really, except that the air conditioning hose is actually getting in the way. Kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Had to pull out the alternator bracket. Had to pull... Yeah, way too much to just do this little bitty job. That really isn't all that little bitty because thanks, GM. Yeah, so back to it. Alright, so new hose is in now. Just got to get this darn thing put back together again. Uh-oh. Something bad's about to happen. Meanwhile, my pickup over here is currently down for probably the simplest job you can ever do to a vehicle. Oil change. Yeah, just trying to keep that light off. I had it unplugged for the longest time, but I plugged it back in. So, yeah, stuff's under there. It's probably done dripping by now. I just need to put it back together and refill it. She'll be good to go again for another 3,000 to 6,000 miles. I honestly, I'd have to look at my log to know just how long it's been since I last did an oil change on this thing, but it has been a while, probably about 3,000 miles beyond a typical 3,000 mile oil change. So yeah, needed to get done. I need to do this one too, but I'm gonna drive it to get it warmed up first, and then I'll do it. Probably not today, but maybe tomorrow. Yep, alright, time to get it back together at least. And then we'll see if we can actually drive it tomorrow. Alright, so we're all back together now. I've got the antifreeze filled back up. I've got the overflow. Actually a little overfull right now. Because, yeah, it's not filling the system right now because it's not running. I've got antifreeze leaked all over the place, so I'm going to have to dry that up. Make sure it's not leaking out of here now. But when I start this up, this level should almost immediately drop. But I'm not going to be able to see it when I go to start it up. Unless I go grab a tripod. And I just don't feel like it right now. So I'm just going to start it up and say screw it. Yep, I think we are good to go. Yep, and there went the level. Good. What it's supposed to do. Now, before the replacement, it was leaking from right there. And it looks like it ain't now. Freaking A. I can deal with that. I'm going to fill a little bit more of that up. You can still kind of see the level in there a little bit. So it's not too low. I'll have to get it good and warmed up so it can suck some of the overflow back in. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and shut it back off. It really doesn't need to be running right now. It Thankfully that level is pretty low, otherwise I might have just overflowed right there. No biggie. Alright, so we'll see if she actually holds up. Clean everything up some now. Not everything covered in freaking antifreeze. Yep. All down the side of the radiator. Alright. So, the test will come tomorrow. At which point I will also do the oil change on this truck. Which I still need to finish up on this truck. So, I'm going to finish that one up. That's the easiest thing in the world. I love working on my pickup because it's so much freaking easier to work on. I mean, there's just no contest between these two trucks, which one I actually prefer to work on. This truck wins every time. Just so much more space in this truck. Yeah. And even underneath the truck. I can get under there with the creeper real easy. I don't have to jack it up or anything. And the oil filter is really easy to get to. But the only thing that annoys me about this truck, as far as the oil filter is concerned, is the fact that it drains right on top of the front differential input shaft. Yeah, so the front differential input shaft gets a very good lube job whenever I do an oil change. Yeah, so that's about it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and complete this for now. Close everything up, put all my tools away. So I only need a 15 mil to shut the drain plug on that one. Yep. And we'll see how this does tomorrow.